Two at the same time. Yep.
Yes.
We're not both speak at the same time now. Till first.
Okie dokie. Can I just control? Okie dokie. I'm going to talk about JSON linting and JSON schema validation. And you all know, like in KDE, we love to have JSON files for package metadata, like included in plugins or also for K-package. But in case you ever had like a syntax error, like a missing semicolon or a missing comma in a JSON file, the meta object compiler would just ignore this and print out a warning in the build. And this is, of course, suboptimal if you forget to double check your build output or to test your changes. And we also have, like in kplugin metadata, some logic to like automatically correct some data types if one expects a Boolean, but a string is passed in. And that runtime compatibility is, of course, a bit ugly. And we have JSON or documentation for the JSON files in different places, but mostly like C++ API docs. And that is sometimes a bit hard to discover, especially when one like combines multiple JSON schemas. So, and I have created schemas for the JSON files, and they are published on the autoconfig website of KDE. And on CI, all the known keys we have are validated so that if we expect a Boolean to be the type for some feature flag, then it's checked that this is only a Boolean. And if it's a string, which is like true, then it's of course a validation error. And you can also specify a more specific schema using the $schema key. And we have various schemas available on the autoconfig website, for example, for applets and krunner plugins and kparts. And you can also create your own schema utilizing some of the components. For example, you can say you want to extend the kplugin metadata spec to have some additional entries for your plugin system. That is what KDE Connect is also doing. And there I've created like a local JSON schema. You can see that we are using the autoconfig website there to pull in the schema for kplugin metadata and also define some additional entries that are specific to KDE Connect. And we also say that, for example, the kplugin object and some KDE Connect specific keys are strictly required because otherwise a plugin can't properly be loaded. And with such a schema, you also get pretty good autocompletion from your language server so that you know what you have to type in, and maybe you even get some suggestions, for example, with system settings categories.
Right, and now it's me. We're not doing JSON anymore, we're doing QML. Right, so QML is amazing, but it's also a runtime, which sucks, right? I write that code, and I made a typo, right? I wrote rectangle instead of rectangle, which happens, like I'm not a native in English, right? So I will go again, and then whoops, what happened? Right, so I will go and I will fix it, right? I will say ID rectangle because there's a typo there. But then I forgot the other typo, right? Like there's in the penultimate line, I didn't fix that typo. And that will break. Your code will not run anymore, right? If you run it, you will get a runtime warning, but who wants a runtime warning, right? Runtime warnings are terrible because they are on runtime and we don't test our apps. No, we do. But it's too late, right? It's like maybe it's in a corner case, it's in a place you seldom run, so you will not see the warning. If you run qmllint before running the app, you will get also a warning, right? It will tell you on line 9, column 24, right? So it's super specific there that there is something wrong, right? The warning is not amazing, but it will point you in the right direction. So how do you use that? You use this new magic thing they added in Qt 6 called, I don't know what it's called, Qt add qml module, right? You add that, and then you run make all qmllint, and it will run qmllint over all your things, and it will give you all the warnings. Even better, just make your targets depend on that target, right? So when you run make, it will, at the end of make, or ninja if you're ninjas, at the end of make or ninja will run all qmllint, and your build will fail if you have warnings, right? That's what we want. We want the CI to be red if you have qmllint warnings. So do that today. do that yesterday, right? We need that. And that's it. We don't have time for questions, but we are all two very pretty people. He a bit more pretty than me.
Here.
Yeah, so all week here, ask us questions. And yeah, right on time, amazing.
Thank you very much.